Israel operates the most battle-tested air force on Earth, yet it said no to America's most powerful stealth fighter, the F-22 Raptor. Instead, Israel engineered its own answer to Russia's deadly Su-57, a counter-stealth beast built for the Middle East's unique battlefield. This isn't about politics. This is about survival, sovereignty, and superior engineering on a scale the world has never seen. The F-22 is locked behind export laws, but Israel's solution is something Washington never expected and Moscow never prepared for. Every decision Israel makes in the sky is written in the blood of history, and this one rewrites the future of aerial warfare. This is the real reason Israel rejected the F-22 and built something far more dangerous instead. Hi friends, in this video we are going to examine a critical question in modern military aviation. Why does Israel, one of the world's most advanced air forces, not operate the F-22 Raptor, and what specific technical and strategic measures has Israel developed to counter the Russian Su-57 fifth-generation stealth fighter? This is a subject that involves aviation engineering, export control law, electronic warfare technology, radar physics, and Middle Eastern defense doctrine, all interconnected. The Israel Air Force, known as the Hail Haver, currently operates over 600 aircraft and is considered the most combat-experienced air force on the planet. Its aircraft selection process is not based on prestige or political preference. It is based on operational requirements, threat assessment, and technological compatibility with Israeli-developed systems. Understanding why the F-22 was never a realistic option for Israel and what Israel built instead requires examining each of these factors with precision and factual clarity. The F-22 Raptor is a single-seat twin-engine fifth-generation air superiority fighter manufactured by Lockheed Martin. It entered operational service with the United States Air Force in December 2005. The aircraft measures 18.9 meters in length, has a wingspan of 13.56 meters, and a maximum takeoff weight of 38,000 kilograms. It is powered by two Pratt & Whitney F-119 Puch 100 turbofan engines producing 156 kilonewtons of thrust each with afterburner. The F-22 achieves a top speed of Mach 2.5 and has a combat radius of approximately 850 kilometers. Its defining capability is supercruise, sustained supersonic flight at Mach 1.82 without afterburner. The aircraft carries the Yankee F-77 as a radar, which operates in the X-band frequency and can track 28 targets simultaneously while jamming others. Internal weapons bays eliminate external radar returns caused by underwing pylons. Its radar cross-section is estimated between 0.01 and 0.02 square meters, comparable to the size of a marble on radar screens. The primary reason Israel does not operate the F-22 is legislative, not diplomatic. In 1998, the United States Congress included the Obey Amendment within the Defense Appropriations Bill. This amendment explicitly prohibits the export of the F-22 Raptor to any foreign government without exception. The legislation was introduced due to concerns about protecting sensitive technologies embedded within the aircraft, including its radar, absorbent material composition, stealth shaping algorithms, avionics architecture, and the F-77 radar's low probability of intercept waveforms. Congressional defense committees determined that even transferring the aircraft to allied nations carried unacceptable risks of technology compromise through espionage, reverse engineering, or third-party transfer. Israel specifically has had documented cases of technology transfer disputes with the United States, most notably involving sales of Israeli modified Falcon airborne early warning systems and Harpy drones to China in the early 2000s. These incidents created lasting caution in Washington regarding the transfer of America's most sensitive aviation technologies to Israel, regardless of the alliance. The Sukhoi Su-57, designated felon by NATO, is Russia's first operational fifth-generation multi-role stealth fighter. Development began under the PACFA program in 2002, with the first flight conducted in January 2010. The aircraft entered limited Russian aerospace forces service in 2020. The Su-57 measures 20.1 meters in length with a wingspan of 14.1 meters and a maximum takeoff weight of 35,000 kilograms. It is powered by two Saturn All-41.1 turbofan engines with the next generation SDLI 30 engines currently in development offering significantly increased thrust. The Su-57 features a reduced radar cross-section achieved through blended fuselage shaping, internal weapons base, and radar-absorbent coatings. Though independent analysts assess its stealth characteristics as less refined than the F-22 or F-35, its ENAZO 36 Balka ASA radar system operates across multiple frequency bands simultaneously. The aircraft carries the R-77M Beyond Visual Range missile and the R-74M Short Range missile, with the F-22 anti-radiation missile for suppressing enemy air defenses. Iran has formally expressed interest in acquiring the Su-57, which directly threatens Israeli airspace security. Israel's Air Force operates under a specific set of operational requirements that differ fundamentally from those of NATO air forces. First, geographic constraint. Israel's territory spans approximately 22,000 square kilometers, giving it minimal strategic depth. Enemy aircraft can reach Israeli population centers within 2-3 minutes of crossing the border. This demands extremely rapid response capability and persistent airborne alert systems. Second, mission diversity. The Israel Air Force must simultaneously conduct long-range strike missions exceeding 1,500 kilometers, as demonstrated in strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities and Syrian weapons convoys, while maintaining air superiority over Israeli airspace and suppressing enemy air defense systems. Third, electronic warfare integration. Israel operates in an environment saturated with Russian-supplied radar and surface-to-air missile systems, including the S-300 and S-400 in Syria and Iran. Every Israeli aircraft must carry advanced electronic warfare systems capable of defeating these threats. Fourth, indigenous system compatibility. Israel has developed proprietary missile systems, radar systems, and electronic warfare pods that must integrate with any aircraft platform it operates. Israel currently operates the F-35I adir, a heavily modified version of the Lockheed Martin F-35A Lightning I. The designation adir translates to mighty in Hebrew. Israel became the first foreign nation to initiate operational capability with the F-35 in December 2017. The modifications Israel implemented go far beyond cosmetic changes. Israel negotiated contractual rights to integrate its own mission systems into the F-35's autonomic logistics information system architecture. Specific modifications include the integration of elbit systems, dash helmet, mounted display system, Israeli electronic warfare suits developed by Elta Systems, Rafael developed Python 5 and Derby air-to-air missiles adapted for internal bay carriage, and Israeli developed communications encryption systems. Israel also operates its own intelligence processing infrastructure that interfaces directly with the F-35I's sensor fusion systems. According to the Israeli Ministry of Defense, these modifications transform the aircraft into a platform that is technically compatible with American systems but operationally independent. The F-35I has conducted dozens of confirmed combat missions over Syria, making it the world's only F-35 variant with confirmed combat experience. Israel has invested substantially in developing indigenous counter-stealth detection and engagement capabilities. Counter-stealth technology addresses a fundamental physics problem. Conventional radar systems operating in the X-band frequency range, where most modern fire control radars function, struggle to detect aircraft with very low radar cross-sections. Israeli defense firms have pursued three primary technical approaches. First, multi-band radar fusion. Elta Systems, a subsidiary of Israel Aerospace Industries, has developed radar systems that simultaneously process returns across multiple frequency bands, including VF, L-band, and X-band. Stealth aircraft are optimized to defeat high-frequency radar but remain more detectable at lower frequencies. Fusing data across all bands increases detection probability significantly. Second, infrared search and track systems. The Erkin A222 electronic warfare pod and associated IST sensors can passively detect the heat signatures of aircraft engines without emitting any radar signal, making detection impossible to warn against. Third, networked sensor integration. Israel has deployed a nationwide sensor grid combining ground-based radars, airborne early warning aircraft, satellite reconnaissance, and unmanned aerial vehicle sensor payloads into a single integrated air picture updated in near real time. Two Israeli defense companies are central to the counter stealth weapons development program. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems is the developer of the Python and Derby Air 2 air missile families. The Python 5, currently Israel's primary within visual range missile, uses an all-aspect infrared seeker with 360-degree lock-on after-launch capability and can engage targets maneuvering at up to 70 degrees off bore sight. Critically, Rafael has developed next-generation seekers specifically optimized for engaging low radar cross-section targets by prioritizing infrared tracking over radar guidance, which stealth coatings cannot defeat. Elbit Systems has developed advanced electronic warfare systems, including the Speed 3000 self-protection suite, which incorporates a radar warning receiver capable of detecting the low probability of intercept emissions characteristic of ASA radars used on stealth aircraft like the Su-57. The system also includes directional infrared countermeasures and a digital radio frequency memory jammer. These systems, when integrated across a networked force of F-35I aircraft, Heron TP drones, and ground-based sensors, create a layered counter stealth engagement capability that does not depend on any single platform or sensor. Israel's decision to develop indigenous counter stealth capability rather than seek an American solution reflects both strategic necessity and sound economic policy. Strategically, indigenous development eliminates dependency on foreign approval for technology use. American weapons systems sold to Israel carry end-use agreements that restrict their deployment in specific scenarios without U.S. government authorization. Israeli-developed systems carry no such restrictions, giving the Israel Defense Forces complete operational autonomy in time-critical combat situations. Economically, Israel's defense export industry generated approximately $12 billion in exports in 2022, according to the Israeli Defense Ministry. Counter-stealth technology developed for Israeli operational use becomes exportable to nations facing similar threats. Countries including India, South Korea, Finland, and Japan, all operating near or within range of Su-57 capable adversaries, represent significant potential markets for Israeli counter-stealth radar systems, electronic warfare pods, and infrared air-to-air missiles. Israel Aerospace Industries, Elbit Systems, and Rafael collectively employ over 30,000 engineers and technicians, making defense technology development a critical pillar of the Israeli high-technology economy. As of 2024, Israel operates approximately 50 F-35I adir aircraft with a total procurement of 75 confirmed. The Israel Air Force has publicly stated ambitions to acquire a sixth-generation fighter or develop one indigenously under the project designation currently known as the Next Generation Fighter Program. Israel Aerospace Industries has conducted preliminary research into a sixth-generation platform that would incorporate full-spectrum stealth, directed energy weapons integration, loyal wingman drone compatibility, and an advanced counter-stealth sensor suite as baseline equipment rather than an add-on. The threat from Su-57 acquisition by Iran remains the primary driver of Israeli counter-stealth investment. Iranian integration of Su-57 aircraft would extend Iran's aerial strike range and complicate Israeli air defense calculations significantly. Israel's response is not to seek one aircraft as a solution, but to build a networked, multi-layer, sensor-fused air defense and offensive counter-air system that operates across domains simultaneously. This approach, integrated rather than platform-centric, represents the definitive direction of Israeli air power doctrine for the next 2 decades.